Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you just stumbled here by accident, then my name is Bong Young. Some people call me Bongi, others call me Yaya. Um, and today I just want to talk about my journey or my story with regards to fibroids. And I know it is a disease that is very common in women, especially African women or Black women. And so, because I have been through it, and still suffering from fibroids actually. I just wanted to share my story, but again, also just use it as a platform to just encourage anyone who is struggling with fibroids and let you know that it is okay. I'm going to have to put this here because I made some few notes as well, just so I can remember everything I really wanted to say. In fact, fibroids, for those who do not know about it, they're like non-cancerous growths that develop in or around the womb or the uterus, and for some women, it is actually kind of dormant in the sense that they don't even realize that they've got it. It doesn't affect them in any way. But for several other women, it actually does. And fibroids vary in sizes. They vary from like the size of an apple seed, which could be like 5 centimeters, to even the size of a watermelon. So like 40 centimeters or so. And so with regards to very briefly about my story with fibroids, never even realized that I had fibroids until I began to notice discomforts and pain in my abdomen. And I actually remember one night, this was probably back in 2012 or 2013, and I would sleep at night and just feel my right abdomen, and I would feel a lump in there. And I just knew there was something not right. So I knew I had something in my stomach that was not meant to be there. I just remember not sleeping well all of those nights. I used to just have palpitation, fear, a heartbeat, like, what is this? And I didn't quite take action immediately. And I remember a couple of months down the line, when I would just press on it, it would roll over. And it started to grow. It felt like an egg, the size of an egg. That's when I actually panicked and decided to book a GP appointment to see the doctor. And as soon as I saw the doctor, he just did a quick check and immediately referred me to the hospital for an ultra scan. And once I went for that, they immediately booked another appointment in which they then discovered that I had several of them. And there was a whole process that started to see what they could do about them. Eventually, the following year, I had a myomectomy. And by the time it was operated upon, it was the size of a 16-week-old fetus. But fortunately, the surgery went well. And several years later, which was last year when I went for checkup, the fibroids had returned, but they're small. And now I try to control them with my diet because one of the things is our diet is not good. So we need to check on that. So the thing is, fibroids affect a lot of women, especially, and it is 3 times higher. The rate is higher in Black women. And we think it's sometimes because of the hair products that we use. I think I saw that as one of the causes. So because if you have high estrogen levels, then you're likely to have them. So the hair products that we use are not very good. The diet, our diet needs to be controlled as well. And so I was trying to look at the effects really what are the symptoms, what are the things that you can do to know if you've got them, because for some, a lot of women, they really don't realize that they've got them. So you can have abdominal pain or very painful cramps. um, you can have a protruding stomach. I actually remember that back in like 2013, 2014, I had a colleague who looked at me and asked me if I was pregnant, and I was like, no. Little did I know that the fibroid was already so big that someone could actually look at you and think you were pregnant when you aren't. So it does make you have a protruding stomach. It can make you constipated, and that was something that I had very regularly. I blame myself a little bit because I wasn't a water drinker. I didn't drink lots of liquids at all. So I used to think that was why. But of course, the fibroids contributed to that. You can have urinary symptoms because it pushes the bladder as it is growing. You can have heavy and lengthy flow during your monthly cycles, and the clots. That I had a lot. Um, and so uh, it is also, there was a lady I was watching on YouTube who said 84% of chemicals that women use on their hair is not good, is not regulated, they're not labeled. And so we need to check out these products. We even need to avoid or stop using them completely, because a lot of us want our hair to be sleek and smooth, and we do not know what products go, what chemicals they use in those products. And a lot of them actually contain toxic chemicals like sodium hydroxide. And so this lady was advising that a lot of us should avoid using those. Now, I was trying to look at also the consequences, or is it consequences? Is that the right word I want to use? Yeah, the negative effects, put it that way, of fibroids. So sometimes fibroids can cause low libido or low sex drive for some people. It can cause infertility for others, and it can even cause emotional distress. So you can find yourself getting stressed all the time. Actually, stress also causes fibroids. You can find yourself getting depressed. You can find yourself getting anxious and too much pressure, but it's both ways. So all of these things I'm mentioning can also actually cause fibroids. So what you want to do to avoid this is, when you have things that might cause anxiety or cause you to be stressed, if you can try to just be aware and control that, it might help. Regarding treatment, so there are medical treatments out there, but I would advise to just consult a GP, your doctor, and they might advise on the right medication for you to take to help shrink them or reduce your chances of having them, especially if you're a young girl in your teenage. Some of our foods are not really good. We eat a lot of oily, fatty foods. We put a lot of spices and salt in our food. Some of those things are not very good. Another treatment is the one that I did, which is myomectomy. But with the myomectomy, I have to make it clear that there's a chance of your fibroids returning, which, like in my case, they have returned, but they're not growing as fast as they would have if I wasn't controlling my diet. For some people, they get a hysterectomy, which is when the entire womb is removed. And in terms of trying to get better, I would advise you actually start working on yourself. Try to change your diet, avoid kaffa foods, um, also avoid meat, avoid dairy products, um, grains, artificial sweeteners, avoid coffee because it has caffeine, avoid fried foods, they're acidic and they're fatty, avoid processed foods, avoid white sugar, white flour, sodas, and caffeinated drinks. avoid table salt, avoid even soy. And a lot of us African and women of Asian descent, we like to use those type of spices when cooking our foods. Um, in terms of what food to eat, I would advise that you eat lots of vegetables, cooked or raw. It can help detox your liver. Cooked and raw dried fruit can help. Whole grain, bread, pasta,